Welcome to Subject to Change. We're here with Roy Atkinson. I'm Jody Smits-Anderson, and Lauren Stanek is my co-host. We're learning about music and writing and speaking.
I am so excited about this, by the way. There he is.
Hi.
She's just naturally excited. It's just the way that Jody is, just excited.
Yeah, I really haven't changed in the 30 years you've known me, Roy.
Yeah.
We're very casual, by the way.
Yeah,
I don't
very.
know if you've noticed.
I wore my long sleeve shirt. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Am I overdressed here? What's going on?
I'm wearing my duct taped slippers.
There you go.
Please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We're really eager to know what you want to hear about.
So here's the way it works. Whatever she's told you about me, positive, true. Negative, not so much.
Well, my mother and I listened to your barge song earlier today,
Oh dear.
and we both got a huge kick out of it. I want to know why you referenced the Guns N' Roses posters being thrown out, though.
That time.
It fit.
A moment about sea shanties.
I've been contemplating, and I wanted to ask your permission to do this. I sometimes take part in shanty sings. And the barge song is really a shanty.
It is
and
indeed.
Would it be okay if I sang your barge song next time I take part in a shanty sing?
As long as you don't attribute it. No, of course it's fine.
What is it? What is that? What's a shanty?
What's a shanty? Oh, yeah, this is a little off topic, but when I worked at Mystic Seaport Museum, I worked with shantymen, and shantymen were the singers that were on a boat. They were working singers, and they created songs to keep the movement of the working going, to pace the work.
Oh.
And sea shanties have had a big resurgence during COVID. There's been a couple of movies about, like, Fisherman's Friend, which is a shanty team. And there are a lot of shanty sings that have sprung up remotely around the nation, which is very cool.
You know one, blow the man down, lady, blow the man down. And they're very rhythmic. And the reason they're rhythmic is because at one point in the song, everybody would pull or everybody would push or whatever it happened to be. Yeah. Work songs.
And actually, one of the things, I mean, I don't want to focus so much on your music, but I think there's a lot of connection between reading an audience and developing music with service and with IT being a vehicle for people to connect.
Performance is also about reading the crowd.
I remember I was interviewed for an article on CIO Online, and was interviewed by Charles Araujo, and come to know Charlie better over the years, and we worked together on the Institute for Digital Transformation. Now Charlie's one of the big central members of that, but he was completely confused about. He said, you were a musician. That was his first. I was like, what? He heard from other people, and he was like, what's going on? So we started talking, and one of the points that I think I made was the service connection that runs through everything I've done. And, I've had a lot of different jobs, but there's a service connection through all of them. And I think that you're right. Absolutely delivering for the audience which was both a joy and a tragedy for me.
I remember those audiences, some of them.
Those audiences were interesting. Let's put it that way. But I remember vividly. I was called in at kind of the last minute to do an opener for was it Kid Creole and the Coconuts or Levon Helm? I think it was Levon Helm and the Kate Brothers. And so I got there, and the deal was that there had originally been a comedian scheduled to do the opening act. So I was like, okay, well, do I be funny? So what am I doing here? I'm opening for Levon Helm. How does that fit with a comedian? I'm not sure. So I just went out and I started doing some stuff, and I was getting heavily booed in this big old theater, and I was getting heavily booed. And I said, okay, how am I going to deal with this? Nothing I did seemed to help. I did probably 3 or 4 songs in, and it was just overwhelming negative reaction. So finally, I just said, tell you what, folks, I'm getting paid to be out here for 45 minutes. So I'm going to be out here for 45 minutes. You can like it or not, but I'm here. And that did it. That was it. I said exactly the right thing without knowing. But so there's a lot of correlation between that and a negative customer service call or a bad thing in IT. You have to think through the thing, and you have to be able to see the other person's point of view, and all of the same skills that go into it. There's fundamental human skills, which a lot of people not have. As Steve Martin famously said, some people really have the gift of gab. Some people not have knack. And it's, how true is that,
You have to have your audience in mind.
That's incredibly appropriate with kind of where both Lauren and I sit. I mean, there's a little bit of variety in how we approach the work. Lauren is a business owner with her own practice in kind of revitalizing existing spaces. And I work at the policy level in New York State government, but both of us have a real focus on sustainability. And we've talked about this in other sessions, that part of it is really understanding and meeting the people that you're talking to where they currently are and where their concerns are, which some people see as compromise or as catering to, but I see it as communication.
That puts the in communication, Joe. Right?
I mean, you're absolutely right.
You can say anything you want or write anything you want. If it's not connecting with the person at the other end, what is the point?
Right.
I remember a conversation I had going back to the music thing with a bass player, Joe Amarillo, and Joe was on my first album, and I remember Joe saying, art is what you do in your living room. Performance is something different from that.
Ooh, very nice.
And at the time, I don't think I thoroughly absorbed it, but over the years, that certainly is, it's true. If I want to write a poem that I don't care if anybody ever reads it or not, great. But if I want to say something to somebody, I have to have them in mind. Your audience matters.
As a writer as well.
And I've tried to talk about that a little bit with other people who write, because a lot of what I do for a living is write.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to write with the reader in mind. You have to make it easy for them to access the information that you're trying to communicate. Again, to communicate. And an awful lot of writers, there's an awful lot of bad writing out there. Let's put it that way. Some of it's just bad, but a lot of it is just define the acronym you're talking about. I don't know what, FLNP is. I don't know. Don't make me go to Google and look it up while I'm trying to read your article. If you have that in the first line and don't define it, what the heck?
Yeah, there's a lot of that in sustainability. Absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie, I just finished skimming a book because it was quite literally the very worst book I've ever read in my entire life.
Yay!
54 pages in. The author point blank said, I'm not going to define for you what the title of the book was. That was the title. She wasn't going to define what the title was until later in the book because she was afraid that the reader wouldn't finish it.
Okay, now you're going to have to say what the title is. What book is this?
I almost don't want to. It was called 1440. It was the worst book I've ever read. Okay. And my mother is an English major, and I she was the one that recommended it to me. She had heard it was good. I handed it to her.
That's funny.
I gave away more than my 1,440 minutes in purchasing and skimming that book.
Wow.
The NSA that you might not have heard of.
An awful lot of people who are in the National Speakers Association, and an awful lot of people there are also authors, and I'm a member of their authors group for reasons unknown to me. But anyway,
Liar.
but it's that a lot of them self-publish, and I think it can be successfully done. With speakers, it's a little bit different because a lot of them also do a little bit of consulting and training on the side. So their book becomes part of the toolkit that they use. But on the public market, it is insanely difficult out there.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. So that National Speakers, you said National Speakers Association? Is that related to customer service, or is that a broad speakers association that covers more topics and more connections?
It's an association of professional speakers.
Wow,
so
that's incredible.
Yeah, it's been around for a long time, and it's a pretty big organization. It's very helpful in a lot of regards to those of us who do make at least some of our living doing that type of thing. There are some folks out there who are full-time professional on the stage, keynote speakers. I have great admiration for them. That's not what I do, but it's pretty amazing business, and some great resources with the association. I personally find that professional associations and clubs and organizations like that are of great value to me.
Oh, I like that acronym. It makes you sound also like you're in the covert spy business.
Yeah, it's great when I wear my lapel pin on my jacket when I travel, and it says NSA. It's awesome.
Sure.
People just kind of go
like NSA would have a lapel pin, like National Security Association would have a lapel pin.
Yes, I've known some of those people. Oh wait, I can't tell you. Okay.
Shh. We'll cut that part out.
This has been a special cut, subject to change. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Roy, thank you so much for your time and your brain, which is a data collection portal that astounds me every single conversation we have. I am amazed by how much you have and how much you're able to find. Yeah. It's a great processing system you've got there.
A friend of mine says, how do you get this stuff in your head so quick? And I said, it's all in RAM, baby. It's all in RAM. Loads up in the morning, and that's it.
That's good. This has been very gracious. I'm sorry I have to run away. I would talk longer,
I actually have to jump into another meeting. So
boy. Okay. We gotta go. Then we all have to go. Thank you so much, Roy.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
Thank you for asking. I enjoyed it immensely. Thanks.
Yeah.
And great to see you, and great to meet you, Lauren.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you.